How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be leveling and testing out Forbidden Rite on an Occultist, but we don't get the gem until level 16 in Act 2. First, I am going to get to there by using Orb Storms and Stormblast mine. I threw on some random other unique gear. Wanderlust was extra movement speed because Scourge League. Got the gold ribbon for the elemental resistances. 1,000 Ribbons is really good because it gives a bunch of damage and resistances. Threw on 2 Dodre's Damnings. Mana gain on kills, really nice, especially when using a lot of extra links early. Threw on a Life Sprig and a +1 Chaos Skills wand that I'll keep using once we get to Act 2. And I'm using a Darkness Enthroned. And I alt-spammed Hypnotic Jewels until I could use them at level 1. So I'm getting 75% increased effect of 10% all-res. So it's like 17 all-res and close to 40 life off of this. And this one's giving me all attributes and chaos damage while dual-wielding. I could be using another one with life and resists, but that's what we've got. Another thing to note, after killing Hailrake and Tidal Island, you're offered a chance to poison gem for the quest reward, but you cannot purchase one. Want to use chance to poison, you have to take it from the quest reward. You can't get it here. Keep that in mind if you're wanting to use that early on a witch. Also, GGG, if you're watching, can we fix whatever this is? Like, it's not happening on like everything that drops, but like, I don't understand why the loot filter messes up like this. It's very strange. If you log out and log back in, it fixes the issue. So if you're looking for a fix for that, like, that works, but it shouldn't happen in the first place. Threw in an added lightning damage into the 5 link, and there's Burtis. Pretty easy. Alright, we've made it to level 16. Now I was able to get Forbidden Rite, not from the quest reward, but from talking to Yina and purchasing it here. So what this says, it says deals, we'll read the top. Lobs an exploding projectile near the targeted location, and extra projectiles towards enemies around you. The projectiles deal chaos damage based on your life and energy shield. Casting the spell damages you. Let's see. This deals 15 to 23 chaos damage, deals 5% of your maximum energy shield as base chaos damage, and 12% of your max life as base chaos damage. Take 40% of maximum life and 25% of maximum energy shield as chaos damage. Fires extra projectiles at up to 6 surrounding enemies. Okay. So let's put this in a tabula just by itself and go see what this does. Because 40% of my life on cast seems like it might be a lot. Yeah. Just kill me. Yeah, we only get 3 casts of that with 0% chaos resistance. So, we really need chaos res. I don't know that we have access to much chaos res right here, right now at level 16. So maybe this just isn't usable right now. Level 18, I can get these boots that give me 50% chaos res during any flask effect. That would cut it down from 40% of my life to 20%. That's still a lot. Alright, I'll get to level 18 and see what we can do with this. Okay. Time to try this again. So on the passive tree, I worked my way all the way over here to one with evil to get the chaos res here. That let me get up to 45 just from that alone. Next passive, I can get 7 more here, or start working over here to Asylum to get more chaos res there. So I have it just passively. Other options are Amethyst Flask. That's 35 chaos res while it's active. And then I got the Chaos Res during Flask effect on foods here. And I also get extra damage from this. So I can, in theory, now get to 76 Chaos Res with the Flask up. But now I don't have the Flask up. Find some enemies. So as long as I have a Flask active, I can cast the skill now. And it fires projectiles at enemies. Kind of costly still, but that's with no Flask up. It takes a pretty nice chunk of life there. So like getting to level 20, killing the 3 bandits to get the extra passive points. The max chaos res I could get is 45. So like I don't know why the game gives you this skill like at level 16 when it does. Because like unless you already have gear for it, you're just not able to. It does too much damage to really be viable. And I am running Vitality now as well. And it does pretty decent damage. I'll give it that. It's pretty cool. All the projectiles, but at the same time it hurts. It has really slow cast speed. I could throw in LMP, give it more projectiles, but the more projectiles that it's going to fire, the more enemies that need to be around. So let's does against the boss. Like the damage is pretty decent. It seems to like that's with lesser multiple projectiles and volley. I don't think those like the increased projectiles really help against a single target. But if there's lots of targets, multiple projectiles is good. But it is actually killing things. I just went through some kind of extremes to get to the point where it's even possible to cast it. Like going to have the Chaos Res or go CI and then become immune to Chaos damage this way. Then it won't cost any ability, but this is your... Getting out here is probably the earliest that you're able to use this skill. We'll be able to get a lot more Chaos Res as we progress, but finally doing something. And not really many gem links that I can really use with it. I can throw a Withering Step on here. That will wither things. Make them take increased chaos damage. Or extra damage there. But yeah, without Vitality, nice chunk of life, and Chaos Res, you cannot use this skill. And even with it, it's still a lot. We'll keep working with it. I think the next things I'm going to do on the tree is I'm probably going to take the 7 Chaos Res off of this and start working my way towards Asylum over here. Reduced effective curses on you on this as well. And this also resistance and ailment protection, so you get more reduced effective curses off that potentially. Get an additional max elemental res there, but pushing up here to get all of this stuff in this wheel, Heart of Darkness and Corruption, those are going to be a big source of damage. Because all of the other chaos wheels on the tree, like this is like 3 passives of chaos dot multi. That's not affecting my skill at all. Down here there's 2 passives, like this is just chaos res. You have to get chaos dot multi, so really seeming like there's not much damage in the normal chaos nodes, so and this is minion chaos res, so we'll push over here next and then work up here for damage, getting whatever needed life and ES here, life and ES here, to further push our damage up along the way as needed, but currently doing okay on life. Let's go kill the Weaver real quick. cheeky. No. Let's do crew reward. Crew reward is going to give me projectile damage. Now, so this fight, since the boss is surrounded in minions, I'm getting a lot more of the projectiles off at the same time. So I would imagine, right, that if I increase the AoE on the skill, you get more overlaps. It could probably shotgun single target a little bit more. Maybe even potential for the worm flask here, as those would be targetable enemies. And then get some more minions off of that. We'll test that once we get further down the road. Alright, so I swapped out gloves with a pair of flesh and spirit. This gives me a little bit of life regen, gives me rampage, and recovers 20% of my life on rampage. So that's maybe about the cost of my using my skill. So that's some extra life regeneration on top of the vitality. I grabbed a summon skitterbots. And so my gym links right now, void manipulation, obviously that's the big chaos damage one. I got faster casting because this is a 0.75 base cast time. It's pretty high. I got controlled destruction. I had a 4-link. That's what I'd run with at this point. Then I threw in a chance to poison because it's a little bit extra flat. Chaos damage. If I can poison stuff, that's cool. It's extra damage. And then I have increased critical strikes in here, which doesn't really matter, but you can crit with Forbidden Rite. That's probably another pretty solid way to scale the damage. Probably not. That's probably going to be the last avenue I explore in it. But until I have access to more gems, that's what I'm going to run with. So there we have that. I'm actually on the passive tree going to come down here and get Blood Drinker, recover 2% of life on kill. I think that's probably my next smart play leveling. We won't get really any more upgrades until we get access to curses and auras in Act 3. Alright, let's see how Vol goes. Damage is pretty good. Skill still hurts. I don't have enough mana recovery to quite handle the 6-link in Act 2, but not terrible. Damage chunks. Run out of flasks. Okay, but he died. Not bad. Alright, so I 4-linked my gold rim, off-colored it with 3 blues. I'm now running Bane with Enfeeble, Despair, and Temp Chains because of my 2 Dodre Stammings. So I got that extra curse protection to lower enemies' damage and speed, but Despair is insane as it lowers chaos resistance and causes them to take increased chaos damage. My damage is good, especially for like doing this normal Izaro at level 25. The issue is the life sustainability still from the not having enough chaos res and life recovery. So there's going to be times where I need these enemies to show up so that I can get a replenishment on a life flask. Because I don't have access to Enduring Cry. Like, there's no way for me to gain these flask charges any other way. So the fight took a little bit longer than it should, but okay. Made it work. Got through there. And now we get to ascend into Occultist. So, first thing we're going to take is nearby enemies have minus 20 chaos res, because of course. And the next one gives us more chaos damage and 60 chaos resistance. That will be a nice in damage and life sustainability as well. Not too terribly sure what we do next. Area effect for power charge. sounds cool. Power charge generation on mana endings sounds good. Profane Bloom is also really good. Malediction. Survivability. I might go Forbidden Power and Profane Bloom after Withering Presence. Might mess with the power charges for other reasons than just for crit. We'll see. Alright, Piety. Curses are good. Having the Flask up time is good. My Mana Flask is bad. Life Flasks are also bad. That works, though. I'm gonna finish this one off by finishing out this Upper Scepter of God and Dominus fight. So, things that I've switched up here. I took off the Skitterbots. I'm now running Despair on Blasphemy because that's always up and it does so much damage. It gives me the extra damage on hits. Curse to Beast take increased. Oh, that's damage over time, but minus 21 Chaos Res. So that's just there, and for clearing, I can run through and cast stuff just faster. And then I've got the Temp Chain, Sanity Feeble on Bane with efficacy now, so I don't have to cast that as much, but I can actually just clear things with Bane. That damage is pretty fine. No real complaints there. That's a nice thing to just be able to have if my life resources get too tapped out. But I'm liking how it's working at the moment. The damage seems fantastic. I don't have the greatest life pool or ES or anything. All I'm running on is the 6-link. And I actually don't think I like the slower projectiles. It takes a lot longer for the enemies to get hit. I'm gonna put increased critical strike chance back in here. I think I might play with increased AoE in here. Maybe Spell Echo. Spell Echo locks me in place. I don't really like Spell Echo. So I think this might be close to the... Yeah, I like it. The slower projectiles hurts this a lot. So there might be room for like projectile speed scaling or chain even. We'll have to see. In tomorrow's video, we'll definitely look more at like in-game gearing and see what stuff we can mess with getting the labs finished and things. Figured out that it's really hard to start this out, that's for sure. But like I'm enjoying the damage, but this is with like not GG gear for being level 31, but like I've got a Tabulous, so I'm running a 6-link. That's where the damage is. If I was playing without the 6-link, I'd probably be doing something like this for damage, but I'm still taking the same amount of life. The life cost is just still the same. But this is probably a more genuine look at what your damage is kind of looking like. Which is still, it's still like, it's doable. This fight's doable. It's probably not the ideal course of action. But I think there's potential here for this to do interesting things. Now, since these are projectiles hitting the ground, maybe we won't be able to chain it. It's not hitting an enemy. Maybe the only way we can really scale it's like through AoE and additional projectiles. So maybe there is a possibility for a GMP to have a place in here. Uh-oh. Yo, I almost like nuked myself there. Not having the life flasks. Wow. Need to have a flask up time. Yeah, I'm still relying on the boots for Chaos Res. I guess my next points would go into Chaos Res. We'll be able to see that tomorrow. But yeah, there's still the AoE stuff. I actually want to see this. We'll check this out real quick. I want to get like a single enemy, or maybe if I put LMP in here. Yeah, this fires. It's firing 2 additional projectiles at my target. And it probably fires additional projectiles nearby targets as well. Because there's the one where I aim, and then the ones that fire at additional enemies. So like I can go over here, fire this way, the 3 projectiles fired there, and I'm clearing with it. Kind of cool how that works. But I get a little targeted blast this way, so I can focus down the rare. I'm really interested to see what we can actually do with it once we get it together. It seems interesting. The potential for added flat damage with it taking the portion of a life in ES seems really cool. Really had to rack my brain at how to make this even possible to get it to this far. And I ended up coming up here getting these life nodes. Vampirism, another 3% life on kill. So clearing this has been much better, and also the recoup. This is damage that I'm taking, because it says on Forbidden Rite, take 40% of maximum life as chaos damage. So I'm taking that damage. So that is, at least from what I could tell, damage from hits. Well, I don't know if it counts as a hit. Let's turn off vitality. Let's check. Life regeneration rate 3.5 per second. I'm regenerating more than 3 life per second. Now I'm regenerating 3 life per second. So I am recouping damage as life from the hit that comes from casting Forbidden Rite. That's cool. So there's more recoup up here. So that's an extra tool available to juice this up a bit. So we'll continue working on it tomorrow. Kill the chicken thing. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button, subscribe, and you can also join, become a member of the channel if you would like to help support me continuing to do this. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Cheers.